Dr. Dr. Mahony here to share with you some more information regarding your child's development of their teeth, of their jaws. I always recommend to parents in my practice to read this book. It's called Your Jaws, Your Life. It was written by a colleague of mine, Dr. David Page. Many people come to an orthodontist because they feel that we are straightening teeth. And certainly that's what the majority of the profession would be associated with. But the newer approach to orthodontics is really to improve the facial balance, the breathing, create room in the jaws for the teeth to erupt. And this is what functional jaw orthopedics is about. Today I'll review the chapter in the book which is called The Jaws and Teeth. And this is a really good section for people to understand that, number one, that the jaws are the gateway to the human airway. So all those structures, position of the palate, position of the upper jaw, position of the lower jaw, do affect your child's breathing. And in my research, I've shown a high correlation between children who have sleep disorder breathing problems, such as sleep apnea, and have narrow jaws, or what we call retrognathic jaws. By age 6, 90% of the growth of the head and about 80% of the growth of the jaw has already occurred. So if you're going to do facial jaw orthopedics, you're not going to do it at the classical orthodontic age of 12 or 13. You want to get in early with these children. How early? Well, look at this other quote from the functional orthodontist in 2001. Breastfeeding can promote proper jaw growth. Bottle or pacifier sucking works against it. So really, when I talk about interceptive orthodontics, we're talking about very young children to help them breathe through the nose, to get rid of the pacifier, to promote breastfeeding. But if you miss that opportunity, and that's the opportunity 0 to 2, then we can still do things while the child's growing. So for me, functional jaw orthopedics, 7 to 9, good age group. Earlier than that, we can still break habits, like you stop your kids sucking the thumb, you improve the nasal airway, you look for tongue ties, etc. I would call that treatment myofunctional treatment or orthotropics. Right? So orthopedics is best done during the maximum growth of the jaws. So in this book, there's many good references for parents to understand what happens and when it happens. Right? But I love this quote: every tooth in a man's head is more valuable to him than a diamond. So I think if you're doing good functional jaw orthopedics, you're actually limiting the need to unnecessarily extract teeth to make space. So I trained as a conventional orthodontist many years ago. My training involved waiting until the child was 13, 14. At that stage, there was no room for the teeth, and we would pull out 4 teeth, put braces on, straighten everything up. But at what expense? Many times we had to retract, and that wasn't good for the face. We know now not necessarily good for the airway. So it makes sense to me, and the way I build my practice is to treat early and try and work with facial growth so you make room for the teeth and minimize the unnecessary extraction of teeth. So if you want further information on what I'm discussing, I'm happy to send you articles, references. I really recommend this book, Your Jaws, Your Life. And as we go on to these webinars, I'll cover different chapters in this book. There's a great chapter linking bedwetting to narrow palates. There's a chapter on snoring and sleep apnea. And what you realize more and more, the medical dentistry link, if you can develop your jaws correctly, you get a good looking face, you get a better airway, you have less need for the traditional orthodontics.